Okay, year 4, so today we're subtracting fractions. So we've got 11 eighths minus 2 eighths. So like when we were adding, you subtract the numerator but you don't subtract the denominator. So the denominator stays the same. And then you do 11 take away 2, which is 9. So you've got 9 eighths. So that's just me showing you the simple version of it. Now, what happens though if you've got to subtract a fraction from a whole number? So here we've got 1 whole, subtract 6 elevenths. You can't actually subtract 6 elevenths from a whole number, so you need to turn the whole number into a fraction. So here we've got a whole bar and it's split into 11. Okay, so 1 whole in this case would be the same as 11 elevenths. So if the denominator is 11, then for it to be a whole number, you would have to be looking at 11 elevenths, which is this bar here. So we've turned the 1 whole, so 1 whole equals 11 elevenths. So we turn the 1 whole into a fraction, 11 elevenths, and then we're going to subtract 6 elevenths. So subtract 6 elevenths would be, well, the denominator stays the same, and then you just do 11 take away 6, which would be 5. Okay, so I'll give you another example of that. Here we've got 4 whole numbers, subtract 3 sevenths. So to make 1 whole in this scenario, you'd have to have 7 sevenths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That makes 1 whole. Because the denominator 7, 1 whole is equivalent to 7 sevenths. So here we've got 4 whole numbers. Let me just write it here. We've got 4 whole and 3 sevenths. And we're subtracting 3 sevenths. So what we need to do is change one of these whole numbers into a fraction. So 4 is made of 3 wholes and 1 whole. Okay? We'll leave the 3 wholes. We don't need to convert that. We just need to convert one of them into a fraction so we can subtract. So 4 is made of 3 whole and 1 whole. So what I want us to do is to convert this 1 whole into a fraction. Well, if it's the denominator 7, that 1 whole will be equal to 7 sevenths. And then we're subtracting 3 sevenths from it. So 7 take away 3 is 4, and the denominator is 7. Now the answer is not 4 sevenths. We still need to remember the 3 wholes that we haven't touched there. So it's 3 wholes. It's not 1 whole because we converted this to 7 sevenths and subtracted it. So it's 3 wholes and 4 sevenths. I'll give you another example. So we've got 7 wholes, subtract 4 ninths. So 7 whole numbers, subtract 4 ninths. Now again, we cannot subtract a fraction from a whole number, so we need to convert the whole number into a fraction. So 7 is made up of 6 and 1, okay? Now we're going to leave the 6, so we'll keep the 6 there as part of the answer. We need to convert this whole number into a fraction. Now because the denominator is 9, to make a fraction of a whole number here would be 9 ninths would make 1 whole. If the denominator was 8, then it would be 8 eighths would make the whole, but the denominator is 9, so it's 9 ninths. And then we subtract 4 ninths from it. So 9 take away 4 is 5, and the denominator stays as 9 because it stays the same. And then you just put the fraction up here. So the 7 wholes take away 4 ninths, then becomes 6 whole and 5 ninths. So all we've done is we've split the whole number up into 6 and 1. We've kept the 6 there, and what we've done is convert that 1 whole into 9 ninths so that we can subtract a fraction from it, because we can't subtract a fraction from a whole. We need to convert it into a fraction. And then we've got the answer. Okay, so this is your task today. So the first thing you need to do here, look, the example's done for you. This says, I'll make it a bit bigger so you can see, 2 subtract 1 sixth. So what we need to do here is we need to convert this whole number into a fraction to be able to subtract it. So 2 is made up of one whole and another whole. We're going to keep one of the wholes here, and all we're going to do is convert this whole into a fraction. So one whole in this scenario would be 6 sixths, because the denominator is 6. And then from 6 sixths we're going to subtract the 1 sixth. The denominator stays the same, and all you're doing is 6 subtracting 1, which is 5. So that's your fraction, 5 sixths. Then you've got a similar one on B and C, and then you've got A to F, where they don't structure it for you, but you can structure it however you want to. So let's have a go at this one here. We've got 4 subtract 4 sixths. We can't subtract a fraction from a whole number. So we need to look at the whole number, which is 4, and we're going to partition it into 3 and 1. Always make sure you partition part of the number into 1, because the 1 is what you're going to convert into a fraction. So we'll keep the 3, we're not going to touch that. Then that 1 whole we're going to change into a fraction. Because the denominator is 6, to make that a whole, the fraction would need to be 6 sixths. And then we're going to subtract 4 sixths from it. Now remember, when you're subtracting, you don't need to subtract the denominator, it stays the same. Subtract the numerator, 6 take away 4 is 2. That leaves you with 2 sixths. So you can put that up there. So the answer is 3 wholes and 2 sixths. I hope that makes sense for you. If not, message us on the blog and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye.